Scuba. He does the job that he needs to do and get that fight on the edge. Absolutely brilliant.
We just witnessed the greatest moment in WoW's history as an esport. It was absolutely incredible.
Overcome the biggest team to win the Intel Extreme Masters.
Welcome back to CB and the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship Finals here. And of course now it's time for Counter-Strike 1.6 and the Grand Final. It'll be fnatic from Sweden, the current champions and title holders of the Intel Extreme Masters after their Season 3 victory here at CB last year. They'll be going up against Navi, who are from Ukraine, and of course have been the surprise package of this tournament. They've already got through here after beating Team EG in the semi-final, and also Mouse Sports in the quarter-final, the previous European champions from this season. So they've come a real long way to get into this kind of position to fight on. And actually the maps that we'll be playing here are Train, Inferno and Dust 2. Now we've already seen a lot from Navi on Train, and if you look at their statistics, while they've been playing under the name of Navi, they've actually won 100% of their Train games, which included obviously a great game against Team EG in the semi-final. fnatic, of course, won their semi-final against SK, and that was a game that everyone expected. You know, it's SK versus fnatic, always should be a great game, but in the end ended in 2 16-6 map victories for fnatic. And fnatic, well, they'll be looking to do that the same here to Navi. Usually I do have Thorin sat here with me, but right now I have no idea where he is, so I'm here all alone. And like I said, it's going to be Train first of all. A map that's been around seemingly forever, like most of these maps here in the 5-map pool. And it's going to be a very, very difficult game for Navi. Knowing how they saw SK and fnatic face up yesterday, I'm sure they're looking forward to getting into this game. But as the underdogs, maybe there's no pressure on them. fnatic, of course, have that kind of newish lineup. We saw Threat moving into the team after Gux left, which saw them winning at WEM and also finishing second at the Intel Extreme Masters European Championship Finals behind Mouse Sports. Now, they came into this tournament with good form. They kind of had a bit of a ropey start in the group stage. Well, that's what fnatic are about. They've done that so many times and managed to come through to the final and even win the event, which is what they'll be hoping for here. Navi, on the other hand, they had a really, really, really great group stage. And at one point were looking like they could have topped the group. Obviously, their game against SK kind of changed things for them in terms of the total group stage finishings. So in a moment we're going to be bringing both of these teams out and of course get them ready. They've been waiting while we finished off the Quake Live final, which of course was won by Rafa, finishing in first place over Kula from Mouse Sports. That was another great final. So let's have a look at the teams then. Of course it will be, like I said, fnatic from Sweden going up against Navi from the Ukraine. And first of all here on the stage we are going to be seeing fnatic, like I said, the Season 3 champions. As they come onto stage, they get a few applause as well. People at CB here knowing who fnatic are. They saw them in action last year. And first up is the new man in the team. It is, of course, Threat, 21 years old, from Sweden, as are all of these players. And I'm going to try and pronounce the fnatic name just because I know all these guys. Then we have Forrest, the man who, against SK, and pretty much every time you see him against SK, rose his game to absolutely another level. 21 years old, Patrick Lindberg, and just living just outside Stockholm. Middle we have Khan, the man who's going to be calling all the strategies. He's 24 years old and is from Sweden but currently actually residing in London, a move which he made a few weeks ago. Then we have DSN, who on the game yesterday that we saw, playing the kind of Ivy defensive role on the CT side of Train, had an absolute belter of a game, and he'll be looking for that kind of form again today. Then we have Get Right, a man who, when he's on form, can absolutely destroy any team that he comes up against. Hello, Thorin. You found your way here then. Then let's have a look at their opponents for this one. It's the underdogs of the tournament that have come all the way into the grand final from the Ukraine. It is, of course, Navi. And first up on the right-hand side, we have Markelov, a man who has been on form throughout this tournament, and we'll be looking forward to seeing more of his AWP play. Of course, 22 years old, as are three other players from this lineup. Then we have Senya, who stepped up his game as well yesterday, had a really, really great semi-final against EG, and also in that quarter-final against Mouse Sports as well. And I won't be trying to pronounce the names from Navi. I can't do it. Then we have Zeus, who of course is the team captain and the strat caller for Navi, and again, he really, really stepped up his game. I can't really say that enough times when it comes to these two lineups. Both of them had an absolute great first 3 days. Then we have Edward, the pistol master. We've seen him be instrumental so many pistol rounds in this tournament. He'll be looking to do that again. Then finally on the end we have Starix. Had a few issues with his headphones the other day, but once he got settled into the game, he really came alive for Navi. So Duncan, this game is the final, the grand final of Season 4 of the Intel Extreme Masters. Who's going to win and why?
Well, I'll go ahead and say fnatic. Why? Because I think they have to be an overdog. They're just so good on every map. Plus, I mean, I don't think Navi's ever played a team like fnatic at this point in a tournament, so we know it's a new stage for them, whereas fnatic have been here so many times, they've won so many times, and what they showed us yesterday against SK was just absolutely breathtaking, I thought. I thought SK were one of the favourites for this tournament, and fnatic just completely destroyed them.
Yeah, there was almost like there was no contest there yesterday. I mean, SK, obviously they came in with great form. They managed to top their group. They got the bye into the semi-final. But when they came up against fnatic, something either wasn't clicking for SK or something was just on a different level for fnatic.
It felt like fnatic played one of those games where you can put any team, you pick any team from history, put them against them. I don't know if they could have gotten it done against a fnatic like that. It just seemed like they elevated every level of their game just when it mattered most, and crucially they didn't even let their opponents get into the game. They just dominated them. And we have to remember, SK won 2 of those pistol rounds, so they lose those, we could have been looking at monstrous scores.
Well, we mentioned yesterday that we were giving away an Intel Core i7 processor. All you have to do is go over to Facebook and also on Twitter, I think you can do the same here. Basically, I've got a question for you. And what you need to do is send a message to ESL_TV and also on Facebook as well. If you go to facebook.com/ESLTV. And the question is, who won the Quake Live Grand Final? So if you go over there, answer the question, and one of you guys who answer correctly will be picked out to win that Intel Core i7 processor. So even if you're at home, you manage to get some freebies as well, if you're right.
I mean, I would hope everyone knows the answer to that and watched that great Quake Live final.
I hope so too. If you didn't, shame on you.
Probably one of the best finals I've ever seen in about 10 years of watching Quake. And I mean, this promises to be one for the ages in terms of CS. If you've ever seen a team who were just dominant, who would just kind of seem destined to win, it seems like this fnatic team. And yet at the same time, every step of the way, people have doubted this Navi team. They've said they're not good enough, they're not ready, they can't match up with the legends. And these guys have become the legend killers. And at this point, if they're going to win this title, they'll have to go through the best team in the world. And that's how you want a world championship to be set up.
Well, we are going to get the match underway. Like we said, the first map will be DE Train, a map which both of these sides have excelled on in this tournament. And I think this is probably going to be the make or break map, you know. Obviously, with it being a best of 3, you need to win 2 maps. I think whoever wins this one is probably going to win the series. But we're underway in the 9th round, and of course the winning team will get to choose which side they start on, which will most likely be, of course, the counter-terrorist side. And currently, Starix is the only man alive for Navi, and he's up against 2 from fnatic. He's now taken that 1 kill onto threat. In comes Get Right, who will get it, and fnatic do pick up the knife, and they are going to switch over onto that counter-terrorist team, as is expected. I mean, what do you expect to see, or what do you think Navi need to do, really, need to show us to beat fnatic?
Well, I really hope they took a look at the demos yesterday of SK's game against fnatic, because what you saw in that game was, once fnatic got a few rounds of CT, SK were being locked down so much that they just forgot all about fakes, they forgot all about really strategical moves, and as a result, fnatic just increased and increased their rotation times to an extent that you could do nothing against them. So I think for Navi, if they lose any rounds at all, obviously if they win some, they can get a little roll going, but if they're to lose any, they really need to kind of stop, rethink things, and then attempt to throw something in there that'll break up fnatic's control. Because we saw just, I mean, you would think it was like a low-level opponent they were playing against because they just rushed in with the rotations. But the reality was, they had their opponents just psychologically they were standing on their throats, so they knew that they could just constantly push in. So let's see if Navi can kind of withstand that if they should go up against it.
Well, we are going to get underway in the first map here of the grand final for Counter-Strike 1.6, and of course, $100,000 on the line for this Counter-Strike 1.6 tournament, and $50,000 to the winner of this one game right now here. So whoever will be taking it will be a little bit richer when they get home to their homeland. Let's have a look then how these two strategies are facing off.
Looks like a full rush outside on a split. Let's see what GetRight can do. He has to get kills here, you have to feel.
Well, he's going to pull back as Zeus will open up. That's bad news already for fnatic as Navi will start to work their way into this outer bomb site. There are 2 down by CT spawn for fnatic. Forest has brought it back to a 4-on-4. The next couple of kills will be so crucial, and they're going either way at the minute. It's kill for kill. The threats double may just make that difference to the round.
Them. This is going to be so huge.
Here is Forest behind them, and he has taken the head off Edward. It's now all on Senior.
But he does have the bomb and 1 minute to work with.
Oh, and Khan will be there by the end of the 3 train, and fnatic pick up their first round of this grand final, and what a crucial one it could prove to be here on the CT side of train. Now, you'd be expecting them to pick up the next one, maybe the 3rd round as well.
And you have to say the most crucial moment there was when Forest started bushing in, and the problem was Edward was having to watch towards where Khan was, and he was watching people coming from the inside site. So it was literally a free kill for Forest, and you can never afford to give any kind of free kills to fnatic.
Right now, Khan working his magic on the inside with Threat. It was a full 5-man rush down there from Navi, and actually Threat now has only got Markelov to find. Let's watch Markelov. He's pretty much dead already before he gets anywhere, and actually will be sprayed through the wall at the end of it all by DSN, and that will make it 2-0 fnatic. Let's see if they buy up.
Galils here from the guys on Navi. They're going to go for it here. And you can, even though it's risky, you kind of like that they were willing to take some risks early on. Because if they can break the fnatic control, then all of a sudden we're not kind of talking about how are they going to control against the dominating performance. They're right back in it if they win this.
Well, DSN traditionally yesterday was playing the back of Ivy roll. Now it's Forest. You can see, we'll see through that smoke. Senior did open up before Forest was able to really find his aim.
I like pulling back because now you're doing the opposite. You're making them rotate quickly, but in doing so you spread them out on the map. And ideally, you're probably going to head inside now. And if you head inside, you're going to be facing 2 people because as you see, GetRight has to rotate back round to cover that open Ivy. And now even Khan's going back. So if they were to, it looks like the bomb's going alley at the moment. Even still, you've got so much time, you've got the numbers advantage, you just wait a little bit. Time for fast rushes is going to be later when you need them.
GetRight's got to come up absolutely huge here for fnatic, and he will be ripped to pieces by Starix's AK. And it looks good for Navi so far. On this 3rd round, they're in on the outer site. That bomb's going to get planted. Let's get around to Threat.
fnatic must peak at the same time here.
Which they won't do, actually. One man will go down. Threat has killed Starix.
Maybe not.
1 on 3. Bomb ticking away. Got 20 seconds left for Threat to get in, but he won't make it as he goes through CT spawn. Senior is there ready and waiting, and that will be the 1st round for Navi, and that's maybe a bit of a dangerous situation now for fnatic.
This Sanine guy, I mean, we saw some early mistakes from him earlier on, and maybe we slighted him a little by saying that he was one of the weaker members of the team because we've just seen him come up with some huge kills, and he seems to do it in scenarios where you're watching his opponent and you think they're sure to get the kill. Forrest had it locked on there, he was firing at him, and then with a Galil outgunned, he manages to get the kill, and that totally broke them open there.
Slow push.
What I do like about this matchup is, it just feels like, it's like Navi aren't fully aware that fnatic is supposed to be one of the greatest teams of all time. They're supposed to be the overdogs here. These Navi guys actually feel like they're as much of a favourite in this final you have to feel. That's the kind of attitude you need. And I like the way they're not committing with the bomb here. At any minute, they're willing to pull completely back out and go to the other one.
Well, they know that Zeus is now at the end of the upper ramp on that inner site. Of course, fnatic here on a full eco. They can't afford to buy those rifles. So we're all rocking the USP. Here's the main push from Navi. It's coming on the outer area. Will fnatic be able to get into any position to defend this one? And it looks like they're all going to come in from behind.
Well, look, the Navi guys are setting up at the pop dog now. They're waiting for them.
Zeus.
This is beautiful anti-eco play.
Zeus will probably be the man. Where's Fnatic gone? Zeus has just seen one, man.
Yep, they've gone back to teammates. Let's see if anyone looks teammate. Markelov's just ready here.
He's only got a USP, but of course that time is ticking away now on the bomb as well, as he does see one of the players. Here comes Markelov, first kill onto Khan. Second, he's coming in from Edward, and they finally killed Markelov, but of course, with Zeus and Edward both covering those positions, they weren't going to get very far there, Fnatic, and that'll bring us back to a tied game, 2-2.
And one of the things, after talking to the Navi guys, I mean, they actually feel really confident in their strategies because of how well they've been doing in practice against some of these great teams. And you saw there, every step of the way, they've actually had really solid strategies. They're not kind of just running standard stuff. They're not rushing any of their moves. Now it's Fnatic's turn to answer.
Yep, of course, weapons back with Fnatic. Get Right has taken so much damage there, and actually the grenade from Markelov will get the frag.
Now Markelov's going to use his AWP and trying to scout out this back bomb site train.
Forrest the only one to answer up so far for Fnatic. They've spotted another one there at the end of that 6 train who is now dead, and as we switch around, Threat and Edward will go head to head, and that will be Navi taking the lead for the first time, and they're already up to 3 rounds out of the 5 here on that T side. And we've seen how dangerous it can be if you let too many of those CT rounds go to your opponent.
And what we've seen so far, first of all, Fnatic are not playing the kind of crazy individual game they played against SK on this map. But secondly, Navi is kind of cutting them off early enough that they can't get into that rhythm. And when you disrupt an opponent's rhythm on the CT side, it's going to throw off their timings on rotations. It means like guys having a switch for FAMAS, they're switching the Colts. And at the moment, it seems like aside from that pistol round, Navi haven't put a foot wrong.
Well,
they're slow. They're just so slow the way they're trying to pick them apart.
This round is another eco for Fnatic.
Just looking at the setup, you get this feeling like if they see anyone inside, they'll just switch and go outside. We never saw anyone do that against Fnatic within any of their games on this map. It always seemed like people committed and gave Fnatic a chance to just take them out.
You can see they are starting to move down there now. Edward and Zeus actually taking a little bit of damage. Senya moving towards the back of this bomb train on the outside. Senya's probably going to be called into action here as he sees the men running up from that CT spawn area. Flashes are in. Where are Fnatic? Zeus coming from the back. Threat's actually got himself right out into the open. He is going to get in behind Senya. This is dangerous. Markelov and Edward, though, bringing it back quickly. It's now all on Get Right and Forrest, who are both low HP.
It's just madness.
Get Right is now all alone with only 15 health. Markelov was watching, and Navi go further into the lead, but Fnatic now will have the money to get back into it.
Just like that, Navi have took 4 terrorist rounds in the first 6 played. And if we were ever going to talk about them winning this series, you felt like they had to come out strong on train. Not only is it their favourite map, it's the first map. And if they can put pressure on Fnatic, then we know Fnatic are a great team at responding, but at the same time, you had to feel like they had to be the ones early on putting that pressure on them.
It's good to see that they've put DSN right back in the end there of Ivy. I think he has an AWP though, yeah he does.
The thing is though, just from DSN style play, I don't expect him to try to go head to head with Markelov. He just wants to use his weapon tactically.
Here's Get Right. Must have been blind there, didn't see anyone as he came out. The smokes were down. Forrest has picked off Edward. In comes a quick reply from Zeus, and this round going backwards and forwards in terms of fragging. Markelov's obviously had a position called to him that someone may be coming from ladder.
Navi have done such a good job right now of immediately responding to one of their men being killed. They never let any kind of string go together where they're getting behind. So as Forrest kills that guy, Zeus immediately spins around and kills Forrest. The advantage is never in Fnatic's hands for more than a second or two.
Oh, Khan was completely facing the wrong way to tackle Senya.
Only leg shot Markelov there because it went through the hitch of the train. 33 seconds. Let's see what Threat can do. He's sneaking down by the Pop Dog train.
DSN has moved back. Threat is moving in from Pop Dog, and he's got 2 onto Senya and Markelov. Bomb is planted by Starix as he takes the head off Threat. It's now 1 versus 1. DSN moving in now. He's switched out that AWP for an M4, and he is going to find Starix, and fnatic will bring us back to 4-3 with this defuse from DSN. And still, though, Navi, of course, leading, and all they need to do is just keep up this kind of pace, keep the rounds fairly level.
And sure, give DSN his props for winning the 1v1 there, but you've got to say a lot for Threat there. Not only did he sneak through, but he didn't kind of blow it too early with the way he attacked the first guy. He actually gave himself a chance to kill 2, maybe more. And if he only kills 1 of those, you have to feel like Navi took the round. But now all of a sudden, fnatic immediately break control.
Off in his usual spam position there, just hitting the wall a few times, trying to get at someone stood on top of the pop dog train. Here's Khan, going to be called into action actually at the end of the Whitehalls, but they didn't actually hit anyone. There's a double grenade. Khan moving back slightly, but not quite enough to avoid the damage from those grenades. Here comes the push from Zeus, kills Khan. Well, Edward and Focus both taking some damage. Will this be the attack from the Ukrainians? It doesn't look like it right now. fnatic still dug in quite deep. And look at Threat. Threat's going to make a bit of noise as he moves in here. Starix actually getting one. He shoots Edward in the back of the head though, and that team kill could prove costly for Navi, as fnatic still have 3, and all of them on full health.
And at the moment, they're really kind of telegraphing that they want to go down that pop dog, I think. Will fnatic react? It's only Get Right out there with a FAMAS at long range, though.
Markelov's got to hit Get Right. That's
the time is rolling down here, so if fnatic can just kind of hold them off for 10 more seconds, they give themselves a bit of a chance here.
Here comes Markelov. Takes the shot, but misses. Now he gets into another position as DSN picks off 1, takes his second. Markelov has missed the shot, and now they're going to be hunted for Markelov, and it's a hat-trick for DSN. Who, like we said yesterday, here on Train was absolutely on form, both with that AWP and the Colt. And now the score is all level again, 4-4.
And we've seen with how incredible Markelov's played in this tournament, the problem has been when he's had that AWP each time, there's never been anyone who could convincingly stand up to him and kind of push him back from the positions he wants to take up. So let's see how DSN can play here.
Again, Zeus is going to get grenaded out by a little cheeky push early on from Threat. Let's get around to DSN. Takes his shot, but misses. Flash will come in, and DSN goes for another shot as well, but no one was actually in that position. Got Markelov there, so we could see a face-off between these two AWPers.
You have to feel like Markelov would want his teammate to run past, and then he'll step out and try and take the shot onto DSN as he's moving away, reloading his AWP. Look how tight an angle he's willing to hold, though.
Very slow round for the Ukrainians. See the kind of 5-man line right back against the walls of this Whitehall. But right now, I'd say the inside side is going to get hit.
Crucially, Forest just went up the ladder, I think. Get Right is up in the tower. So if they can hit the inside quickly, they know at least one man's rotated around.
Threat's been partially smoked out now, but he will use it to hide in. They spotted him already. Edward will get the first frag, as DSN has now rotated to cover onto this inner side. Bomb should get planted. DSN and Forest really going to work, though, and it's now all on Markelov. Bomb didn't get planted anyway, and Forest will rush him down, and Forest now starting to pick up his game as well. DSN 10-5, Forest up at 7-5 after that round. Get Right 2-6. And to be fair, we haven't seen all that much from Get Right at this tournament. He's been fairly quiet.
Well, he hasn't really needed to do so much some of the time. It seems like his other teammates were really rolling, and he was just kind of hanging around, getting a few kills that meant something here and there. So far in this map, what we've seen is, like on that last round, it felt like Markelov kind of made a little bit of a mental error by not going out with his teammates. They really needed him to go out there and at least lock an area off, if not hit a shot.
Current setup for Navi is 1 Deagle, and there was 1 AK, but they've lost it early on. That's bad news. They have to pick that up. They have done now with Starix, but Threat again will disable it. And finally we'll get back around, but you know, passing this AK off, and Threat's just like, okay, I'll take all of you. Finally Edward will deal with him and gets his second onto Khan as well. Doable round for Navi.
I think he was just spammed through the wall there.
Edward still working out towards this outer area. They have to bear in mind that DSN's probably able to hold that outer area on his own.
Forest moves away just as he was about to come out, I think. Gone back the other way. A good read here by Forest. And Navi are going to have no idea he's going to be on that side either. They're going to be looking to the left as they walk out. So Forest has a shot on the first guy.
Here is Forest. Exchanges with Markelov. Now it's 1 on 2.
Here. He's got to run non-stop essentially if he's going to go anywhere. In fact, yeah. DSN, let's see what you can do.
Markelov is taking the upper ramp. DSN will have to deal with that. Will he change?
Get right is outside at the moment.
DSN is now going to change position, but I'm not sure if he even knows that Markelov is there. Now he does, and he will hit the shot. Great one from DSN again. And he will get the defuse. And DSN is on fire, there's no question. 11 and 5 is at the minute.
Yeah, and anyone who's kind of remembering those games where DSN didn't have a great game or his orb kind of wasn't as great as it used to be, that's been completely erased the last few rounds of this tournament, it seems. And he just seems to be playing with so much confidence. It's not that he's kind of going outside of his game and getting too aggressive. He seems to be just flowing within what he can do. And that confidence of knowing that he's hitting his shots is just, it's making himself, he's never kind of playing too defensively, you feel, at the moment.
5 rounds remaining in this one.
And Markelov has to do something with the orb this round because he's bought too many of them and died. So economically, he'll be in a really bad spot if he doesn't kill at least 1 or 2 guys this round.
Smokes are down for threat. He has to be careful about how far he peeks because Markelov is there watching. Here comes the first man. Edward will out-aim threat. And he's actually spotted another one down there. I guess it was Forest.
And so far, the strength for the Navi guys is that, unlike so many other teams, they've been able to successfully get out of that back alley. So if DSN can lock that down, then you really have to wonder where the next rounds are going to come from the Navi guys.
Here is DSN. Flash is coming in, and he's blind now. He backs away. We'll put
they get completely out without even taking a shot here. The bomb's going to be down. Very impressive.
DSN has spotted that guy on bomb train. Will go for the shot, and they'll prevent it being planted. That's a big kill. But they don't exactly know where the rest of them are. Saini goes down to get right. Here's Zeus. Wow. Close range by DSN. Markelov now with only Edward for company. Will try and win the round for Navi.
And Markelov looks very hesitant here. It seems like he gets in there and he just wants to hold. He doesn't want to be the guy pushing in like he would have been the other day. He's getting left alone too often with this expensive weapon.
2 on 1, and it will be... they had his position on lockdown there after Get Right got the first kill and then went down. And fnatic extend their lead. It's now 7. Still got plenty of rounds to go in this first half, but if fnatic can keep this up, it looks like, to be honest, they've found their groove now. They've found out how to hold Navi off.
I mean, they're not playing at their peak, I don't think, yet. They're playing good enough, though, and that's the key. Because Edward's turned up, Edward's doing what he needs to do, but it seems like Markelov's just a step too late, or he's making the wrong decision at the wrong time.
Look at Forest's position. Now he gets himself 2 before Zeus will finally deal with the problem.
That was a key kill by Khan there. That really could have gone either way.
Where's Starix? He's now 1 on 3. Grenade did kill Khan, so it's not all bad for Starix, but he's got such a long time that he can't even think about saving this weapon out, probably. Will fnatic put the pressure on? I think they're content with just sitting back and winning the rounds at the moment.
And what we said earlier about the fact that every time fnatic were getting a kill, it was immediately being traded back by Navi, that's completely changed in the last few rounds. Now we're seeing what you don't want to see from Navi, which is they're tightening up a little bit when they get killed. When they lose a round, they're not quite rushing in as confidently as they were before, and those entry kills are suddenly, all of a sudden, they dried up.
There was Get Right, playing quite offensive. Khan happy about that little round win, and that is the guarantee at half-time for the lead for fnatic. DSN still hasn't died in, I think, 4 or maybe even 5 rounds.
And if you're Navi, yeah, you have completely let this game spin out for a while, but if you can just take, let's say, 2 rounds out of this, you can really salvage a lot, because considering how dominating it's felt like fnatic have been over the control of the map for the last few rounds. And remember, rounds don't carry over in the sense of, like, it doesn't matter how close you get on a round or how wide a margin you lose it by, rounds around. So for Navi, if you can just take these next few, you're still right there in a game where some rounds you weren't even in.
Ooh, Khan and Threat are both down on the inside, but they've kind of done their job there.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
so low
Edward
right
and
now.
Zeus are really, really low. DSN will be looking for the kills.
Right now, Get Right's in a really good position if you can just hold this position.
Bombs down, and DSN will have called that in. Where are these remaining players? DSN changing his position, and Forest and Get Right won't need his help because they've won this round on their own there at the end. But again, crucial bit of play from Threat and Khan. Even though they died, they made them so low on health that, you know, two great aimers like Forest and Get Right were probably going to win that round.
And what's a little bit worrying is, when you go down by a huge margin like this, on the terrorist side on Train, you at least want to have your guys going in terms of aim, in terms of skills, in terms of all getting kills. So when you go onto that CT side, you know you can immediately get something done. Right now, a few of the Navi guys still need to warm up, it feels like. They're not fully in that flow.
Here comes Starix and Senior. They're on Deagles this round. Starix did get an AWP, and he's picked off the head of Forest, and this is going pear-shaped for Fnatic. Only Threat able to
Khan
bring
is
this
in a
back
really good spot
2-on-2.
here to get at least one kill, if he just stays quiet.
Just changed ever so slightly as they look for these last men. Markaloff is up in the sniper nest. Starix is actually AWPing. Khan's gone back towards the inner.
The way Threat is creeping here could really help them, because then they can attack from 3 sides at once. Versus 2 guys, that's always going to be so difficult to defend. Look at Starix though. A little bit of Gosu hacks here.
Starix does see Threat, and he will get the kill. And now it's all on Khan. He's got full health.
And he's going from the right spot to get this, because you at least have a free shot onto the bomb planter if he goes in front of the bomb. In front of the train, rather. 26 seconds left. They know exactly where he is. Markov could help his team so much.
Khan's got one of them. It's now Starix versus Khan. You should know that he's got that AWP.
And if he hurries, he's got time to get up into that favourable spot as well. But I think you're probably going to see him hide behind one of the back trains.
Problem is, who sees who first? Khan will see Starix, and Khan will pull off the 2-on-1. Great clutch play from the captain. As the defuse will come in. And Fnatic having a bit of a scare there. They want these 11 rounds moving forward. And, you know, after losing so many early on, I think they'd be very, very happy with 11-4.
That round in particular has got to be a huge motivation booster for them. It feels like they're making all the right moves at the right times. Whereas for Starix, I mean, you almost wonder what exactly was going through his head there. He could have kind of taken up a much more defensive position, run some time off the clock, forced Khan to either hunt him down or go to defuse the bomb. Instead, he gave Khan a chance at him, and yet maybe the spray was a little bit lucky, but you don't give the best team in the world chances like that and then win.
See that this is going to be a heavy push, actually, onto the outer area from Ivy. Here they go. Let's see if Get Right spots any of them, or whether they feed straight in towards the back to try and find DSN. Here they do push. DSN in trouble.
Misses.
He is dead. Here's Get Right as well. Let's switch back. Get Right finally goes down.
Khan is heading right towards someone now. Just eats that grenade.
Yeah, the grenades are so heavy onto Khan, and it leaves just Threat. 1 versus 4. It's actually, of course, the last round of the first half, so Threat can go for this one anyway, which he is going to. He spots his first man. Will spray down Edward, but he's lost too much health to be able to do anything surely in this round. Starix will take him, and it is a 10-5 half-time score in favour of Fnatic as they move over.
And looking from his perspective there, that was the first time I saw DSN miss a crucial early shot. It seemed like before he hit them all, and you saw it allowed the Navi guys to get in. And now, if they can win this pistol round, you know, let's not get crazy. Fnatic had a great first half, but they've got to get their own tactical execution going on this T side.
Here come the restarts, and let's get things underway again. Fnatic 10-5. It's a lead, but definitely, well, it's the kind of scoreline that you can most definitely put together on the CT side of Train. I mean, obviously it's not going to be easy against a team with the caliber of Fnatic, but It's definitely something that Navi have done in the past and can certainly do again. The question is, have they got the spirit? How are they kind of feeling? I mean, we've not heard so much noise from them, but once they get going, it can be hard to stop.
Well, if you wanted to say what the trademark of Navi in this tournament was, what's got them this far, it's putting together CT adjustments versus the best teams in the world. When they've been able to do that, they've been able to completely deny the default attacks of some of these best teams at technical execution.
Look at Edward. Yeah, man who we've seen do so brilliantly for Navi in these pistol rounds. Will already start off with 2. He's got a man up close. Edward will make it a hat-trick. And again, he proves that he's an amazing pistol player. Now it's all on Khan. They're just grenading him to death, and it will be Zeus to pick up the final one. And again, Edward, the man, 10-6.
We've always known that Edward and Markov were incredibly skilled players, but they've never had the chance to just do it on a huge stage like this. And as great as Markov has played individually, just winning this many pistol rounds for them, Edward's done an incredible job. You can't overestimate how much winning pistol rounds keeps you in games, puts you over the top in games, and what a time to win it as well.
This is game on now with Navi winning that round, I feel. Fnatic, of course, this second round will not have the money to buy up.
But if they can stop them getting the bomb down here, bearing in mind they didn't on the pistol round, that would be so huge for them, just to keep a little bit of the lead kind of narrowing down for the Navi guys there.
Fnatic just taking the time, probably having a little bit of discussion as to what's going on here, what their next plans will be. Let's watch Zeus. Seen those first players, and his grenade was off. Not the greatest of grenades from Zeus,
it's
but
a very good entry so far, though.
not too bothered. He's just going to spray them down. Finally, they've dropped, and look at this. Khan with the FAMAS has got himself 1 frag. DSN and Get Right are low, but they've got the bomb in position,
DSN,
and they've got a weapon.
If he can make his 9 health at least get sort of 40 to 50, he can't.
Here we go. Khan takes down Edward. 1 versus 1. Senya versus Khan, and Senya down to 9.
That was so
very
close.
unlucky for Fnatic, but Navi will get the defuse. But that's the kind of round that they don't need Fnatic to be having now. Killing a lot of their players, getting the bomb down. They can't afford to be letting Fnatic buy early on, which is, I'm pretty much sure, what they're going to do on the 3rd round now.
But at the same time, yes, everything went wrong, and you really can't allow anything like that again to happen. But you do feel a little bit of comfort if you're Navi that you managed to escape what could have been a terrible situation there.
Well, the score 10-7, and as I said, Fnatic are going to buy up this round. Let's see what they're able to do now that they've got those AKs in hand. Look at Zeus.
I think you're going to see a lot of inside attacks from Fnatic in this game.
Zeus has gone so aggressive, and he's opened up here with a double. And Fnatic already in the back foot as they start to work into this bomb site. Bomb is there with them.
Shot by StarX.
Oh, those grenades have done so much damage here as they start to walk into the site. DSN's aim coming out nicely for him. Can he find the second? No, he can't. It's all on Get Right versus 2 with 14 health.
And I think Markelov leg shot him as he went past the train to get him to the 14.
Get Right takes a head off Senya, and Markelov will be watching. Position called out, and Fnatic's 3rd round buy not proving so successful. 10-8.
All the same, you're seeing them get into the site there. Even when they have on equals, they can get in there, they can get some early kills. They can almost get the bomb down in that case. So I think you'll see them sticking with that inside. Maybe they've noticed that when you make Markelov rotate and he's one of the last few alive, he's far less effective than if you attack his position outright. With a player like Markelov who's so good, you have to make him move. You can't allow him to be sat in position.
Look at Zeus again on this upper ramp.
And it's worth mentioning, Zeus has been the 3rd best player for this team, and even he's in the top 10 of all the stats categories. So don't allow the other guys to overshadow him. He's played great himself.
Bomb is ticking away. Hear that AWP of Markelov sounding off in the background. 4 on 3, now 3 on 3 as Senya actually makes it a double.
What
2
is Get Right
very
gonna do
important
here? Wow.
frags, and it's now all on Forest. 1 versus 3. Will actually hop down the lower ramp. Senya's like, I totally knew you were going to do that. Gets the kill, and it's now going to be 10-9. 1 round to tie us up.
What play from Zeus there? I mean, he basically went head to head with Get Right at a kind of range where you know how incredible Get Right can be with that spray, and he instantly takes his head off to give his team that round.
Like I said a little bit earlier on, it's best of 3 here, so Train just being the first map. We'll move on to Inferno next, and if it's a 1-1 scoreline by then, Dust 2 will be the decider map.
And neither team looks like it's absolutely completely on individually. So we're seeing a lot of it's kind of the decisions of how they go in together is deciding how the round goes. Because as Fnatic have these rounds where they look amazing, they get all the kills they need to. Then if Navi come back and they kind of throw back an equally hard punch, it seems like it makes Fnatic go back to their level before. You have to love how Zeus is playing this inside side.
He's playing it so close. I mean, just that kind of really tiny opening that he sees there as Fnatic do get in, but they've lost 2 men already.
Get Right is so low, and you need this guy to do some kills.
Let's watch Markaloff. He's the CT defender that's coming back in with that AWP as he fires off the 1-shot. They all instantly go diving for cover, knowing what Markaloff can do. And look at those kills coming in very quickly for Fnatic. Markaloff, close range, trademark shot from him. And now DSN will be there under the 1 train, and Get Right, yeah, he had 1 HP after all that. DSN also was very, very low.
They just barely crawled over that round there, the Fnatic guys.
But that's the good thing from their position now. They're on the harder side. They had a 10-5 lead, and from here on they can crawl, but they have to make sure that they crawl fast enough to actually make it to 16. This is an eco round for the Ukrainians as well, so it should put them just 4 points away from the first map victory. Look at the speed at which DSN's just rushing into this site. Absolutely no problem. Edward actually is behind them somehow. I'm not sure how that really all happened. He will be spotted. Oh, what a shot to Get Right.
And I wonder if now Fnatic are going to start to hit the outside site more, because even though they've gotten in there, there's been a whole bunch of rounds where, I mean, Zeus is the best player right now for Navi. They're doing really good setups. And win or lose, it seems like Navi is always right there when they go in the inside site. So maybe try some slow outside pushes, see what's going on at Ivy. Maybe even go down the pop dog ladder and see if you can kind of throw Nat Markov off if he takes up that bomb train position.
Fnatic, their positions now are going to decide exactly where they go. You can see the bombs being left back in spawn, which means this is just to test the water phase of the round. Problem is they have to be careful how far they go when they're figuring out what to do. See that Edward is pushed up quite heavily on Pop Dog. Arn may well make his way down. DSN is still at spawn covering that T middle.
Yeah, this is a nice setup at the moment for what Fnatic are doing by the Navi guys. And then again, one of the things Fnatic are great at is kind of, without even seeing you, they just intuitively pick the right counter of where to attack.
Senior is going to be the make or break player. You can see that they're probably going to boost over the box here, Fnatic. Let's get around to Senior because he's about to be called into action. There go the smokes. Senior loves to get up close and personal in that smoke, but he's actually down before he can get the kills as Edward and Markaloff really chime in. Markaloff going with the M4 this round. There he goes again. He proves that he can use that weapon absolutely amazingly as well.
He's in, it's too late now.
He's got 7 HP and Markaloff knows where he is. And only losing 1 man there, the Ukrainians, to bring the score back to 12-10. Can't help but feel that this one's going right down to all 30 rounds.
Anyone who thought that Fnatic were going to completely roll Navi on this map, would just they couldn't have been further from wrong. You have to feel like even if Fnatic can win, it's going to be, I mean, you can't imagine it being more than 3 rounds, can you?
I don't think so.
It just seems like even if we're Fnatic to win 2, you feel like Navi take back that 3rd one. That's just the rhythm of the way the game's going. What I like is Navi don't get too upset when they lose their rounds.
Oh, Senya's in trouble. Markaloff have already gone down first there as Edward and Zeus will actually be the ones to reply. Great aim by Edward from the CT spawn. And these 2 men proving that they can do it all and only needing each other there for the help.
So much time to work with, though.
Yeah, he kind of pushed in there early on that one. We're now again down to that 1 round difference between the 2 teams. And you can see the second place Quake Live finisher there, Cooler, and his brother off to his right, just watching the Ukrainians, giving them some support.
Yeah, and I mean, earlier on I saw in Kula's group games, they would be watching him as well. So obviously there's a bit of camaraderie between the Eastern Europeans there. And we've seen Edward right now is playing wonderfully. He's playing like one of the best players in the world. But Zeus is really stepping up. It feels like he's just playing at his peak right now. He's in all the right positions. He's getting these crucial kills.
Watch Edward's position now, though. This is where he can really make a difference to the round. It is an eco for Fnatic, but Edward and Markelov really sounding off. They've got this outer bomb site on lockdown against an eco team, and that will bring us tied in this match, 12-12. And
now
Navi
you're seeing,
bringing this back.
Now you're really seeing how good Navi is on CT side of train. I mean, this is one of Fnatic's favourite maps. This is a map that Fnatic are really good on the T side on. And yet we see it's now even, and we're on a map that we always consider CT-sided. So are Navi going to pull the upset and get themselves 1-0 up in this series?
It's a good question. 6 rounds to go. Can still go either way. Here are the smokes. And you can see
I like
how
this rotation, this fast
going.
rotation from these Navi guys.
Fnatic are moving so fast, though, onto this outer area. But like you said, the problem is they're not really picking up these kills at the start. They did now, though, as Forest will take out Sanya. It's now Zeus versus Forest and Get Right. Here comes the first onto Forest. Now it's all on Get Right.
Is he going to go inside then?
Got similar health. Get Right will peek out. Zeus.
Do we know where the bomb is?
Zeus has actually spotted him there, and he will take the aim off towards that left-hand side. Will Get Right peek.
Pretended he picked up the bomb there.
He will peek out, and he does actually miss his shots. He took some damage himself, and he's going to go aggressive, and Get Right will take the head off Zeus. Fnatic regain the lead.
Yeah, lovely work by Get Right there. And you also have to love the fact that Zeus isn't backing off. I mean, he's going up ahead, head-to-head with one of the greatest aimers in the world, and he feels like he can win those rounds.
See behind Fnatic there, their manager, Sam Matthews, who I'm sure he'll hate to hear, but he's definitely going a little bit grayer throughout every round. Look at this setup, actually, for Ivy. That man, Markelov. What does he have? An AWP. This is that setup again that we saw earlier from Fnatic, which is kind of spread 2-man to Ivy, DSN watching T middle, 2-man on the white halls as well. They're probably going to run the clock way down from this round and then do that big 5-man push again. Let's get around to Zeus. I think he is going to be called into action here very shortly.
You'd like it if he'd stay in this position, not peek out, but then kind of wait and let Starix tell him when they're coming in. That's when he can really do damage. Because we've seen this kind of distance, his spray is just beautiful.
Which they have done. Now that grenade was so powerful. And that's going to put Fnatic on the back foot. And yeah, they're surely going to run away from this. No, they're not. They're going to go for it. Let's get back around to Zeus. In fact, no, let's move around to... Yeah, Fnatic are moving away now.
And Fnatic have barely had a chance to see a CT yet. That grenade just completely decimated them.
They've got 20 seconds to move. They might even just save the weapons.
I think they're going to, because Khan had a Galil and DSN has an orb. So that seriously suggests that economically they couldn't have afforded to just lose this round outright. And obviously you're not going to get into that inside site and plant. So this is actually the correct decision with 4 still alive and your health situation. But unfortunately Khan just took some shots there, so they're going to survive.
We won't get close enough for that one, and it will be Navi to bring us back level again. 13-13, 4 rounds to go.
And just with the way this map goes and the way these two teams are playing, I mean, I get the feeling that whoever wins this round wins this map. What do you think?
I really don't know what to think the way this one's going. I mean, it's obviously neck and neck, and you can just see it going 14-13, 14-14, 15-14, and then the draw.
What's beautiful is that we can't see a direct winner. Just the way it's played out, you always feel like either of these teams can come up with it on a round-by-round basis.
Markelov actually losing out on his health there early on in the round. Question is, will Fnatic try and capitalise on that? I'm not sure if they knew he hit the shots.
And Navi have done their own great rotations. they've been in position so many times knowing the site that Fnatic would go to, guessing it, whichever it is. They've had their own kind of great fluidity to their defense, it seems.
Insane, yeah.
And that's one of the beauties of having Zeus being so good at inside. It means you can leave him for a few seconds. Looks like him and Markov are going to get some action again. Will DSN be the first to go up the top and take on Markov though? Or will it be the case that they allow someone to go down the middle first?
Well, for Fnatic,
looks like they're going to step out and then he's going to try and shoot Markov.
Markov misses there. We know that, you know, Markov's his greatest strength isn't really at those set-up shots. See what he can do now. Starix has picked off Forest. Bomb is planted, and Markov missing 3 shots this round, which he maybe should have had. DSN threatened Khan, obviously setting up these defensive positions as a switch away from Markov. Obviously, he gets a kill. It's now all on threat, 1 on 2. They know where he is, and Markov will hop over to that one train, get the frag, and it's now Navi who regain the lead. 14-13.
And what's incredible about this is there were people before the semi-finals who said that Navi weren't even going to place top 3. They thought that they would lose to all these teams because they'd been so good throughout the tournament. But you're seeing right now, what's great about Navi is they've played to their peak no matter who the opposition is. And they've adapted as well. They haven't just played one limited style. Now Saint knows they're coming alley.
Here's Edward. His flash just went out, but he is completely blind now, and he's turned his back. This is a bit of a mixed background for Fnatic. They've lost Forest. This is bad news for the Swedes.
And this is Navi's map right now. This is Navi's map to lose, you have to feel.
Oh, yeah, now DSN's dead. Surely this is going to be only a Galil for threat.
Here comes the grenade any second.
Down to maybe 5 also. Oh, he's down to 6 HP, and he sprays at Markov, and that will be map point for Navi. 15-13. They've got 2 rounds to pick up just the one that they need.
What's crucial is, I haven't felt, even though I've been impressed that Fnatic have switched things up and they have taken these rounds where they've lost a couple, they come back and they get one to stay in it. I don't necessarily know I've seen one specific strategy that Fnatic can say, okay, we can go to this and definitely get around now. It's felt like they've needed a bit of help from Navi with how they've rotated, so, I mean, Ret having a deagle here, that's really not a good sign.
Well, the man in question.
But they are going to risk it inside because that's where they've gambled and they have won before.
Well, depends how your gamble's going to pay off, as Zeus is going to open in here. The grenade was already out and done the damage. Now it's all on Forest and Threat to save this map for Fnatic. Forest with full HP. Threat is dead. Forest has killed one, but it looks like Navi could have this one. Forest has picked up the bomb here.
Behind him.
And he doesn't know that as he starts to run back up towards these white holes, making lots of noise. Forest is going to dive in. Markov will pick him up, and that is a 16-13 first round win for the Ukrainians of Navi, and they will take the lead in this best of 3 series. We still have Inferno and Dust 2 to play. And well, what a great performance from Navi. And I think, you know, the difference in this one was a 10-5 half on CT side wasn't enough for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, how crucial does that last round end up being? The one where DSN misses his shot, they get into outside, they win the round. If Fnatic gets 11-4 there, then we have another round to play. Or maybe the guys from Navi maybe changes how they attack. Maybe they play more aggressive defensively. But we saw there. What's great about Navi I've seen so far is, first of all, they're confident. Secondly, it seems like they never back down from taking a heavy blow from Fnatic. They had the strength to kind of come back into it.
Well, don't forget, guys, over on facebook.com/ESLTV, if you become a follower of ESL TV, we're giving away an Intel Core i7 processor. All you have to do is answer the question, who won earlier on today the Quake Live Grand Final? And also $10,000 with it. For now, we're going to be going over to a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's the main raffle. We've got loads of prizes and freebies for you guys here at CBIT, so you don't want to miss out on that. And after that, it's, of course, the continuation of the Counter-Strike 1.6 final.
Talent, heart,
winning,
Game on.
passion,
creativity,
dexterity, Perfection.
Confidence. Intel.
Extreme. Masters.
Strike 1.6, and of course it's the Ukrainians of Navi who have the lead right now. We are of course playing a best of 3, but they already won the first map on train 16-13. We're now moving over on to Inferno, which in my opinion is going to make this game all the more great, because Inferno is a map that's, you know, quite balanced between the sides, and it's a map that I think both of these teams can play really well.
We saw an incredible game from fnatic on Inferno yesterday against SK. So we saw what they can do, and obviously they need to get back in this series. But also, I mean, this is just beautiful the way it kind of sets up the storyline for Navi's path if they're going to get to this title, because we've seen that Inferno has been the thorn in their side. I mean, they had that game against Mouse at the European finals. They just lose. They had that game against Mouse. They lose on that as well. So they have a history of losing on this map and in big, tense games. But then, I mean, I think they played it against EG also. They finally got that win. So maybe they've fixed a few things. And this is definitely a chance for fnatic to get back in the game. But at the same time, I mean, you have to imagine if you were Navi, what map would you want to win it on? Just for the sake of, I mean, the triumph, the euphoria of coming through all those struggles. This is the storybook ending potentially for them. But fnatic want to ruin that. They want to get to that third map. And then they're back in a position where, you know, whenever you have fnatic one map away from victory, that's very dangerous. So,
what's your gut feeling? What's your gut feeling on who's going to win this map? I mean, for me, from what we've seen from Navi in the first map, was great. fnatic obviously are a team that know how to come back in games. They've done it so many times before, being one map down, you know, being behind in a certain map and things like that, and really shown the character to come through. Obviously, we've had quite a large break in between these two maps, which kind of, in my opinion, resets the whole feeling of things. Of course, Navi know that they're 1-0 up and fnatic know they're 1-0 behind. But any emotions that were there, any, you know, jubilation for Navi, or, you know, that disappointment there for fnatic, I think it kind of disappears in that 20-30 minute break that we've seen.
Well, what I kind of feel going into this map now is I'm trying not to bias myself too much from the incredible fnatic performance yesterday, because we also saw one of the all-time great Forest performances there, and you can never predict when those turn up. You can't just guarantee they're going to happen every time. Yeah. So maybe if that hadn't have been there, it wouldn't have been so dominating. So you can't always factor that in, so that makes it a bit closer, I think. And then, I mean, I can't have a great feeling for Navi on the map because they have had those problems, but at the same time, they just played so confidently on that train game. It seemed like even when they were behind, they didn't start to play like a team from behind, and I thought that was the key, that they still managed to get into their game. They didn't start kind of playing scared or trying to overreact to what fnatic were doing in a negative way. So I think once again, we're going to need, I think Navi need a bit more luck and need maybe a bit more raw skill to win this map over fnatic. fnatic can sort of go through the motions. They're that good a team on it, the map. But maybe another good sign for fnatic could be the fact that every game we've seen Navi play, on the terrorist side on this map, Markov doesn't get an AWP. Instead, he goes with an AK, and he really hasn't been very effective like that. And we know he's at his best when he's got an AWP. So that's a good sign as well if you're fnatic.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that, you know, Markelov is a big, like, cornerstone, if you like, of this lineup, that when he is on fire and he's got that AWP, then he can really cause some damage. But we've also seen some great rifle play from Markelov, which, you know, although it's maybe not as, I guess you could say, outstanding to watch, quite as thrilling, you don't see those amazing shots that he never should have made or whatever. We do see that he's such a solid player with the rifle as well. DSN is the same player, in my opinion, as Markelov, that they can really turn it on with the AWP, but they are that solid rifle backbone of the team as well when they need to be. Right now we're just waiting for Threat to get into the server. I'm not sure if there's a bit of a problem there, or whether Threat's just on his way right now.
And in terms of how you look at the sides, the way I'm seeing it right now, oftentimes when a team's weaker on one side, I tend to focus on that, and I'm saying, okay, how many rounds can they get there? But actually here, what I'm looking at is the strong side for Navi. I want to see, say they get CT side first, I want to see, can they get a big lead so they give themselves a real chance and they don't have to get worried in that second half, and they don't have to let the nerves and all that they know before get into their heads. Now let's say it goes the other way around. They start out on the terrorist side. Then I want to know if they can't get enough rounds on that terrorist side, can they then kind of go ultra what they've been good at, which is tweaking things on the defensive side. And actually, what would be interesting is if at any point in that CT side for Navi, we'll see them call their timeout then. Or will they save it, if they were on the CT first, would they save it for the T side? That could be a really kind of crucial game changer for them. So it's when they'd use it.
I don't know, I think a critical part of this game is going to be kind of early on, because we have seen Navi, most of their games, they've won when they've done okay in the first half, maybe on the weak side, and then they've just put in a really strong performance, as you may expect on the stronger side. The games where they've been behind, I think they've been a little bit less successful, and maybe that's weighed down to the kind of team that they are, that they do weigh a lot on that momentum, on that good feeling of, you know, all being there together in the position where they can scream at each other and high-five each other after every round that they win. And I think it's critical here that they do get off to that good start and don't fall too far behind. I mean, we saw on Train, it was a good start for them. First 6 rounds, they took 4. And on the T side of Train, after it finished 10-5, you could say that that's a really good half against a team like fnatic on CT. On the Train match, it really felt like the big plus for Navi was that they were able to reset mentally. They weren't thinking to themselves, you know, fnatic got, I think it was 8 rounds as terrorist. They weren't thinking to themselves, we've got all this work to do on the CT side. So instead, no, it was 10-5. 10-5. Yes. fnatic got 10 rounds as terrorists. Counter-terrorist, rather. So they knew that they had a lot of work to do, but they literally they reset mentally and they took it one by one, it felt like. Yeah. And if they were to get into a T-side battle on this, where they have to get rounds, they'll have to do the same thing here. Because we saw that has been their problem, I feel. Like, they didn't let... The carryover did affect them on Inferno. So they're a member of the press who has "Go Navi Go" written on his press shirt. So obviously a bit of a Navi fan. One of those great impartial journalists there. We all love them. Well, we're going to get underway here with the knife round. Of course, it will decide who will start off on which side. And now fnatic have their backs to the wall, I guess you could say, after losing out on that first map on Train. We'll be looking for their knife round victory and a good solid start to this CT half. Knife rounds are awesome. Here's Khan and Forrest who kills DSN, but fnatic still going at this nicely. It's a 2v2 and the difference could be Forrest's health, but all of a sudden Zeus's double brings it back. It's now 1-on-1, Sena versus Forrest with the knives. And for fnatic it'd be great to get the CT side. We've seen how strong they can be, how smothering their defense can be. This is with a team kill as well. Senya will move in and Forrest too busy weaving around. And I think Senya just said, okay, I'm just going to go for this, which he does, and they win that knife round. And you can see that Spirit's still high in the fnatic camp, despite losing out on that first map. And you know, with Navi now moving over onto the CT side, will they start off strong, or can fnatic put in a solid T half? And if you were to try and script the Navi fairy tale roll to the championships, this is how you would have done it. Getting the chance to get this big start here, get the front running in on the CT side. And I think this is one of those times where I'm really going to see what they do on this pistol round. I want to know if Navi are going to play straight up, and then maybe fnatic have scouted them out at all, or are Navi willing to kind of take a risk and stack an area? No, Edward's just going to kill everyone. That certainly could be the case. That's the pistol strategy for Navi. Well, we're going to get the restarts then. Second map here of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship Finals in Counter-Strike, and it is, of course, fnatic 0-1 behind against a underdog Navi team who have come into this tournament, maybe turned a few heads, and now they're in the final, and they're in the driving seat. They only need one of these remaining 2 maps. Let's see who's going to pick it up as we get into Inferno, of course, with fnatic starting out here on the terrorist team. It looks like they are stacking 4 in here. But fnatic are going to go to B. Interesting. Markov has to be either really good at delaying them or really strong here. It looks like he's going to pull right back. He's got to shoot. He's got to kill here if he's wanting to win this round. He's done plenty of damage. That's a good start for Markov. And now we're going to get the bomb down with 5 men alive. And this is a site
that you can defend with low numbers. So when you've got the full complement of players,
here comes
you just sit
Forrest,
back.
got himself the first kill, switched off by Markaloff. There are HEs here
Oh, what
for
a kill
the
that could be by
CT
Zeus.
side. In comes Markaloff again, he's got 1, 2 in front of him. Markaloff manages one,
Wow.
but in come Edward and Zeus, and the Ukrainians will pick up the pistol. And as you said, this really sets us up now for a thrilling second map. And Markaloff obviously pretty happy with his performance there. And actually, you know, the only person... Oh no, Edward got 1. So I was kind of right.
And when you saw Fnatic take the site, even though they'd lost a little bit of health, they had 5 men, they had boosts going, they had everything going for them in that round. You couldn't ask for a better entry almost, and yet somehow we saw that they managed to die.
Here we have Deagle and Armour for Fnatic. This is a bit of a sneaky attempt, I think, to win this second round off.
And this Colt at middle will be crucial here. Colts of the Navi guys.
Round for Fnatic. If they can bounce straight back, it'll put Navi into a bit of a shock position, I think. As usual, Markaloff, lone defender, over by the B site. Get right, maybe. About to...
it's going to be this balcony rush here. Here comes the smoke. So let's see what Edward does here. He can let this round get blown wide open, or he can stop it right, nip it right in the bud.
Here come the smokes. Edward will actually focus back towards balcony. Forrest and Get Right have already opened up the
so
fragging,
blind.
and
Edward is so
Edward is blind. This is a great round for Fnatic. 2 versus 4. They've stolen those weapons, but in comes Senior with the FAMAS, and he got 2. And now Markaloff has got such a huge job.
No kit though, no kit.
Must be a kit hanging around that site somewhere. All of his teammates have died around there. Ah, and look at that. Threat can see Markaloff through the fence.
The bomb is, the timer is going way too fast here. What's going on here? Can't wait like this.
Here's Markaloff. First frag.
Time.
He's going to have to save his weapon. Yeah, Markaloff there. Not sure why he waited out so long. I guess he knew the guy was there. And there is threat, and Markaloff will all but wipe this. Oh, it did wipe the whole team out, but of course they lost the round. And Fnatic having that gamble with Deagles and Armour, the first 2 kills, absolutely imperative to that round win. But they've bounced back, and that will cause Navi to have money problems of their own.
And the most crucial thing it felt like was they absolutely blinded Edward, to the extent that as he ran forwards, he ran past 2 Fnatic players who had Deagles. So he could have completely kind of cut half of the rush out, but he didn't even get a chance to see them. And it looks like Markov's going to get aggressive, is he?
Right now, Edward is the one that's rolling into position. Not sure how willing they are to risk that push.
We saw this stack at the window room before, and it paid dividends when they did it before. So let's see if when they boost a guy up here, he's going to get caught out by it. Because it's just the wrong place for you to look. You don't look to the right, to the left at that short an angle. You look to the right, or you look left as you swing right out. Having 3 Deagles like that.
Han's position is actually really, really important here.
They're coming behind them.
Here we go. Senya, only man to offer up a frag for the Ukrainians. And actually, he's made it 2. He's got an AK. Let's get around to him.
What can Edward do?
He's not got much health, but they've got a free AK there if they want to come back and get it.
Remember, Markaloff has a Colt. So, and they have 2 kits, by the way. 2 kits.
Forrest and Senya are going to meet here.
Oh, Senya had gone up there. I think they must be wanting to save here.
Yeah, there is that AK on the floor, and they're thinking, well,
I mean, they can't have
money back.
Yeah, they can't have known, but from Forrest's actual position there, that might have been a good chance to take that round, or take the opportunity of trying to take it anyway.
So far, so good for Fnatic, losing out on pistol, but bouncing straight back, and that's exactly what you need to do to keep yourselves in the game, and that will have hit Navi's confidence a lot, I think.
But they do have guns, and that's crucial because they managed to get out with 3. So now we're actually going to see them.
Here we go then. Round number 4. 2-1 to Fnatic at the moment.
At the moment, Markaloff is going to play that banana every time.
Khan has already taken damage. Markaloff actually backing away. His Fnatic start to crawl up that area. But will they actually push in there?
Markov's going to peek them. Wow. Look how low the get right is right now.
Yeah, and that's a good trade-off there. Markov actually backing away. Senya is going to come in as well, and fnatic is still wondering whether their Wake should carry them into this B site, or whether A would be more of an option. They've thrown out the. Oh, I think they're going to go for this
full on B. So let's see what they can do inside the defenders.
Senya's got to come up big here for the Ukrainians, and actually he's playing his usual close smoke position. Carnwell does come through though. He's survived with 2 HP, and that's bad news.
Fnatic's health is so low on get right.
Bit of spray in here, and fnatic could find themselves in a whole world of trouble.
They're going to save, please don't.
Here we go, losing health. They
are
going to save.
I mean, they obviously can't know that Khan and get right are that low. I mean, part of it was spammed through the wall, I think. So you never fully can tell how much you've done there. But all the same, if they come back and watch this demo later and they haven't won this map, they're going to really kick themselves. With that much time on the clock, I think there was about 18 seconds when they started running away. That was a real chance to go for it.
Oh, as a switch out from Starix, he actually gets the kill and will steal the AK at the end. That's a good bit of play from Starix. But of course, it's the extension of the lead for fnatic, which is maybe more important. 3-1 now they're up.
And Markov's bought an open from his positioning. It looks like he wants to go and take a quick peek down middle. And with how fnatic have been setting up, that would actually be quite a good move. Or maybe not, standard position. But they have switched him over the site, that's significant.
Passive player. This could work out because they've known Markelov to be there. Maybe they're thinking, well, if Markelov's got that up now when he can afford it, maybe he won't play.
He's going to see some action right now.
Yeah, missing that first shot's going to be crucial. Will fnatic make the push up already? Markelov adjusts his position. Peek out from Library. Shot fired, shot missed. Fire fnatic. Predictable little push back. Get right though, going aggressive.
How did he
and
hit
Markelov's going to be put up close, and he does get the frag, but Senya has lost his life over by B, and fnatic are in there again with 4 men, 3 of which are on full health. And it's going to be another save, I guess.
You feel like they're going to save again. For a team whose strength on CT side mattered so much, this is really, really gambling right now. See, now you wonder, because they are a map up, are they making decisions now that they wouldn't necessarily have made if they'd have been a map down?
I think they're playing this one very passively. I mean, we've seen some great retakes from Navi over the games that we've seen them here on stage.
That's the thing as well. They seem to be a team who, within rounds, they get back into the rounds. They don't necessarily seem to be a team who are incredible at stopping the rush. So if you're going to continually do this, then you're going to end up continually saving if that's kind of the game plan. Some of their retakes on B have been really good in the other matches on CT, but it wasn't by doing this slow style. It was by pushing in together quite quickly and kind of disrupting the CTs, the terrorists' positions. Look, Starix smokes down middle, so is he going to push down and look for the left of mid? It's something we haven't seen any CT aggression here from Navi. They haven't tried to push up the balcony. They haven't pushed all the way into the window room. We've seen very little on Banana, despite the fact how many times fnatic have been pushed up towards top of second mid. You feel like just in general, Navi's whole game plan's a little bit too passive. And they're letting fnatic kind of dictate what's going to happen each round.
Here's the push by the looks of
that
things.
grenade went right past the threat and hit no one pretty much.
Here comes the push from fnatic. Flashes have already gone. Edward will turn away. As he turns back in there, he will find threat jumping off the balcony. He is now blind though, and DSN was above him.
But this is a good
setup for DSN.
Starix had the crossfire on him.
Flash out from Zeus as he peeks back around, and fnatic are backing away here, I think. Oh, they come back in. Clean kill from Zeus, looking for the second.
Zeus needs to get this.
Where is that man? It is Get Right as he looks from pit. Senior will double up onto Khan and Get Right, and finally Navi have bounced back in this one to 4-2, and they know that they have a job to do here on CT side. We saw against Mouse Sports that their terrorist side was not their strong half.
But we also saw a nice little adjustment there. It seems like this team are actually quite intelligent. And,
You sound surprised that they are intelligent?
no, I mean in the sense that they really know how to adapt their A defense, it seems. And they know how to set up the right crossfire. Because they'll take a bit of damage, they'll lose a few rounds early on by being rushed out of one specific area. But then they set it up so that as their men die, they're in better positions each time.
Oh, look at this from Edward at close range. He's done so much damage there. Taking down 2. His shots didn't quite connect onto Khan, but I think he's done his job at that middle area. I move back to a 3-on-3. Zeus feeling the effects of the flashbang for a couple of seconds. Senior has opened up. Where have Fnatic gone? Pulling back here, at least Khan is. This is interesting. I think Khan's idea is, since they've got 50 seconds, come behind and see if anyone's trying to flank.
Leaving Threat here, perhaps he's going to attack B, hoping that he can draw one over, then Threat goes out and tries to plant.
Yeah.
This is risky, but at the same time, you really wouldn't expect it in a 2v3. And there we go. If he can stay alive a little bit longer, let's see who's... They've rotated. There's one in here.
Threat has got the first kill onto Zeus. He's moving in, and that bomb will get planted. Senya and Markelov versus Threat and Khan. Great little bit of, well, a great call from Khan, first of all. What can Markelov figure out? He's got himself an AK now. As they start to move in, Senya's killed Threat. It's all on Khan. He started this move. Can he finish it? 2 versus 1.
Oh,
he's
so
taken
low now.
so much damage there, and he knows that he's in trouble.
They should start
he can
defusing.
run the clock down.
Senya needs to start defusing and just keep going for it.
Here is Khan. Markelov will peek, and that defuse is already on its way from Senya, and Navi will bounce back 4-3. Good try though from Fnatic. Hats off to Khan for that.
Yeah, it was a nice little kind of mid-round adjustment. They didn't win it, but you felt like it put them in a much more favourable position than attacking either site with 2 men would have. And actually, like you say, as he pushed around, if he'd have met anyone rotating up the middle, then it would have been a 2v1.
Yeah.
So overall, the amount of kind of flexibility that move made.
Eco round. Khan's like, yeah, I'm running into your spawn. I'm going to kill all your dudes. Actually, he's got in behind Markelov and got himself an AWP. How ridiculous is this for a round? 3 versus 3. Those deagles from Fnatic
So low, that's
damaging.
the problem.
Yeah, but they've run around again. Gone back to A, and Navi are completely oblivious to it. Zeus and Edward have finally started to move around. What can they do? Forest is downed. It's now all on Get Right.
With the amount of time left, this is be a rather miraculous round if he could win it, really.
Pretty good. Oh, what a shot from Get Right as that man comes out of library looking for another. Zeus will have him away, and Edward will get the defuse to pick up this round and bring us to, of course, a 4-4 tied scoreline. He's not got a kit, has he? Yeah, he has.
And we did see a great eco round from Fnatic on the train T side. So it's not that tactically they're completely off the map. They're doing some good moves here. It seems like they have a good read on Navi, but it also seems like Navi kind of step up kill-wise at the right times. Just hold them off.
Let's see who will take the lead.
I wonder when we're going to see an aggressive push somewhere from Navi, or whether they'll just stick with this game plan. Now we're seeing them going back to that triple stack up to the netted area.
Bit of a crawl from Fnatic up and on. Markelov in the back of the site. Senya's there to back him up, so he could well keep a strong hold on this site. Markelov does have a rifle in this round. Here we go. Flashes out.
Well, Get Right just shot Forest in the back there.
Markelov sat right back, and he is going to open up onto his first man. That was Threat. Still
he
looking
doesn't know
around.
they're behind him, though.
Oh, he's going to spray down, and Get Right was already there. This bomb surely will be planted now as Edward falls as well. And Fnatic, despite this kind of slow, bad start to this
But
push
Zeus
in,
has a
are
chance
losing
here.
health. And Zeus will actually spray more than he maybe should have, and it's down to a
26
one-on-one.
seconds.
Starix versus Get Right, and
Get Right is
Starix has
behind
got
him.
so much time
Get
here.
Right is
Will
behind
he
him.
check behind? And he won't. Get Right will pick up the frag, and Fnatic regain the lead at 5-4.
Really nice move there from Get Right. You had to feel like I mean, he was obviously reading the way that Starks was slowly attacking the site, and he ended up getting himself a free kill.
Good try again from Navi on the retake, but
That's what we wanted to see from Navi, though, in their style of retaking. They don't go non-stop, they don't go really slow, but they have like a nice mid-tempo kind of push, don't they?
I think it works out well for them there because, you know, the early men in seem to do a lot of damage all the time for Navi. It's just sometimes they don't quite get that finishing move, if you like. Here we go again, Senior.
The thing is, we've seen, even though they're playing Fnatic, even though they're playing these amazing teams, Navi are really not afraid to just get in there and mix it up with kill-wise and trade some kills back and forwards.
Fnatic.
Back they go.
On back, yeah. Senior's like, where the hell are they? Ah,
But
just
Zeus
called
is
it
at the
in.
bottom of Banana.
Here we go. Zeus will peek out down middle. That's unfortunate for him. If he were in a stationary position, he might have
Edward
caught
is hidden
Fnatic
in the
off.
second mid now. They're going to go back to B, it looks like. You actually have to feel, with Edward in that position, it might have been better for Zeus to have hidden for a little while. Sort of drawn them in.
Wait, still scoping out, and there's a headshot onto
If you can
DSN.
get to this gun,
They've got to come back and cover this, surely.
still 20 seconds
Forrest-
and no bomb down, and he's got full health.
Got to kill Get Right. There is Get Right behind the boxes. He notices him, but probably a little bit too late after he'd already been shot. And yeah, Forrest was hanging around that middle area with just 2 HP, but he will pick it up. And Fnatic move up to 6-4. We've got 5 rounds to go in this first half, and Navi are probably going to need all of them.
And
my
Navi are not
opinion.
going to know until later, you can tell, how many times Fnatic have been so low on health.
Yeah.
But to Navi, they just see the numbers advantage and they think, there's no way I'm going to win this round. That was another round there where actually, if Edward knew their health, he'd actively be trying to take on shots and try and engage them.
Go round for Navi.
We really haven't seen any eco rounds from Navi that seemed like they had a good chance of swinging the round to them. That's one area where maybe they've lacked so far.
Markelov has already had a peek down Banana and was already dealt with swiftly. And they're not throwing these eco rounds away. Hoping that they can pull something off it. There is Zeus actually blinded, and you can see him running into the wall as he tries to run back. And he still waits. Forrest will come around. Surely this is an easy round for Fnatic. Only Forrest has lost just a little bit of health as Get Right doubles up. Starix and Edward remain, and they're both moving in from the CT archway. Bomb took it away. Edward actually moving back, and Starix will follow. So, you know, they're just going to hold on and try and steal some AKs. But even in these positions, Fnatic will move out in twos rather than running out alone to try and kill these men who they know they're on an eco. Here comes the peak. There is Threat. Gets himself the first. And Edward surely will follow. He will. And that's another for Fnatic. 7-4. Easy round.
And whether it's because they're playing Fnatic, who are such a great team, it still feels like, despite some rounds here and there from Markelov, he has never reached that level that we've seen him at elsewhere in the tournament. And it feels like if he was to do that, he could either be the one who puts them back level in this game, or kind of bees the difference to just push them a little bit higher. And then it'll be on Fnatic to rise higher. So sometimes you need another player to step forwards. This is a team like Fnatic, you often do.
Fnatic at the moment using that kind of standard start, although Forrest is boosted up here on the roof just to have a bit of a better view around that middle area. DSN crawling up. Threat's already gone down. DSN will peek to the position where Threat died. And I don't think they're going to be put off from this Fnatic.
The smoke's going to help them get out.
Push. Ooh, DSN getting hit there. Here we go. Flash
Senya's
onto
going
DSN.
to fight them any second, it looks like. He's at this corner, he's waiting for them.
Made out from DSN. I bet Fnatic have rotated. No, actually, they've not. They're
What
coming in,
kills
actually.
there.
Here
Incredible
comes Get
spray.
Right. Edward will take another one. I thought fnatic were ready to pull out from that as DSN comes into that man on pit. And that's another one back for Navi.
That was a really incredible spray by Senya. He killed one and then he killed another through the wall while strafing away. And he's really proven himself so far to me to be a big game player. Maybe that's it. He's one of those players where when he's playing a game you're already winning or he's playing a lesser opponent, he doesn't quite get fired up enough. But it seems like in these huge games, he's really just kind of stepped forwards for his team when they've needed someone. And against any level of opposition.
Incoming boost from fnatic. In comes Starix already onto Forest, who had a bit of an early cheeky peek there. Starix is now backed all the way off. This is a bit of a faster round for fnatic. Will it be an A push or will they just be faking out here as they do now control that middle? Starix backed off into Little Pit. Flashes over the top from fnatic. They're about to go here. Markelov could be absolutely monumental if they're to defend this.
If he can hold here, you have to feel like he's going to see someone.
Starix is dead. Markelov will go down. Great double from Khan. What will fnatic push from now? Oh, there's a man in behind them. Zeus has got two. Zeus will make it three with a bomb planter. And it's now all on Khan, and they know that that bomb's down in the site. The question is, do they know
Zeus is sneaking to the left. I don't think he knows that they're behind there.
Here is Khan. Zeus will be taken down, and it's now one-on-one. Senya versus Khan.
He hasn't heard him running. He was just far enough away that he couldn't hear the run sounds. But now will Khan stop and do something tricky, or will he just go straight and plant at the normal spot? Ah, look where he's planting here.
There goes the plant. Khan will defend. Interesting position for Khan. Senya will come around and gets the kill. And that was a situation where just the extra health that Senya had, I think, really pulled him through that one. And Navi will get the defuse again. 7-6. They're starting to come back, and you can't help but feel that, you know, after we had such a great train game, with Inferno being more, you know, balanced between the two sides, that if we see an 8-7 or maybe a 9-6 scoreline, that this game's going to be again right down to the wire.
So far, it kind of looks like a mixture of them kind of withstanding the storm of fnatic, and then it also seems like for fnatic, they haven't been able to necessarily get dominant when they're in control, when they're up. They've kind of, some of their rounds have fizzled out a bit. Their speed hasn't been quite right when they've been attacking. So there's a bit of both from either side here. And we're seeing a real ebb and flow to the game. That's what's making it so even.
It's going off, but not doing the damage. fnatic again will start to work their way up banana. They've been fairly successful, let's be honest, when they've pushed this banana site. Yeah, they may have lost a couple of guys, but this time we're going to see Senya pushing out very aggressive, and he's actually blind now. fnatic need to get in on top of him quickly. Senya peeks out again. Carney's down, and he's not playing the kind of unobvious position. He's right out in the open here. He actually gets another one. It's now all on DSN. What a round from Senya to bring Navi back. And that will be 7-7, all tied again. And Senya, what an absolute belter of a round in B.
Yeah, and you want to have the game of your life. You do it in the finals on the second map that you need to win the whole World Championship. Your team's down. And we just saw some, up close range, his spray's just been incredible with the silence called. He's playing against
24-8.
And he's playing against some of the best players in the world, aim-wise. But this has been the story of the Ukrainians. They're just undeterred by any kind of status, any kind of name that they play against. They just bring their game and they see what can happen.
Look at the money for fnatic. Of course, last round, buy out whatever you can, but unfortunately, I think there's only one AK there. I think DSN is the only AK player. Oh no, Khan's got an AK. My bad. Well, there's
and
a
all
Galil and two Deagles there.
All the good we've seen for fnatic, and they could be going into the half losing.
Yep.
It really feels like Navi, you've done a great job each time of just withstanding that blow, and then once that happens, fnatic don't necessarily have the strength to push on.
Senya again. They finally dealt with him. Here's Markelov though, and he could be so dangerous here as he tries to hold off this attack. His grenades have gone in. Have fnatic pushed back around? Bomb has been planted. Up close and personal with Markelov. It's now 2 versus 3. They've got to stick together now, the Ukrainians, if they want to win this round. Because
Get Right Zeus with his
going to be dangerous.
Here.
Flash does come in. DSN's killed Edward.
Get Right is outside though. That's what could be key. He's going to have a shot onto someone.
Bomb ticking away so fast. Zeus has gone down. It's now all on Starix. There's DSN. Get Right covers. And fnatic will have the lead at half-time. 8-7 from that terrorist side. But it couldn't be any closer. And that's a great thing for a final, in my opinion.
And we've seen how good fnatic can be on CT side of this map. I'm not necessarily sure that's impartial cheering.
Now we have 2 fans, but they're loud.
One of them's Lex, who used to be in Virtus Pro.
Yeah.
Not quite sure why he's there on stage. But
I stole a press jersey from someone, then wrote "Go Navi" all over it. 8-7. fnatic, of course, with this slight lead. And it'll worry them, I think. I mean, obviously, they've not taken a big kind of lead, but also we know that CT side probably slightly biased here. And Navi have shown some signs of weakness on the terrorist in the past, especially against with no disrespect to EG, you know, the bigger sides here. I mean, Mouse Sports was such a hard game for them on Inferno.
Both
EG
times, yeah.
didn't quite work out as EG wanted to. And right now, Navi, of course, coming into this pistol round, will be looking to bring things back. So, fnatic could push us through into a third map if they win this one, or they could lose their title to Ukrainian
look at this aggression
underdogs.
at the balcony. They're going to peek round, and how are Navi going to react? We saw them get some crucial kills early round here when they did this last time.
Yeah, DSN did pick up the first. In his Starix, though, very close range. Good work with that Glock. Where are they going to go now? Zeus is keeping an eye on that area because he is a bit worried about the positioning from fnatic.
And he's going to chase Forest here, is he?
Zeus goes around. Here's the one man at the end there of that carpeted hallways. Will they peek again? Doesn't look like it. Here's the setup.
Well, Edward's going to be in trouble if he pops out, you have to feel.
Edward is going to peek.
No health taken off him.
And he's given that position away. Now here's
Look
Edward again, the pistol master for Navi. Brings it back to 4-on-3. Advantage Navi.
4-on-3 and off they go, just as Get Right is taking a position outside the site.
Yep,
so they're going to be getting in here.
Can't start to rotate back as well. Get Right really has to
look at that.
Make an impact on this one. Zeus will take him down. It's looking good for Navi. They're in on the site. Starix just checks around before he plants his bomb. And now Threat is going to meet up with Edward at the end of Banana. Carney's already dead. Threat is starting to work his way in. Gets the 1 kill, but there is Edward again. And it's 2 kills for Edward, 2 for Zeus, and 1 for Starix to bring us back to a tied matchup. 8-8. Navi off to another great start. Obviously, they're on T side, so fnatic probably not going to be able to buy up in the next 2 rounds. I mean, they might buy Deagles and win something, but you can never count that out. We've already seen it once in this game.
Edward is the best pistol player in the world right now. Just showing it game after game. And you almost think he's done it so many times, surely not this time, but then somehow he again manages to work some magic. And the thing is, Navi have shown an inability to close the deal and get the win when they're on this terrorist side.
That was great positioning from Senya. Here comes Senya again, moving up and taking a lot of damage. His spray not quite on the mark. Get Right on 13. Khan still has full health. They are hanging around together. They're not sure where Navi have gone. And the bomb's moving up with Zeus and Starix towards the Banana site. Where does the peak come from? Here we go. Khan will leap out the window as he tries to give chase up towards that Banana area. Markelov is still on the sniper deck. And Get Right is going to be pushed down. There goes Markelov, and he will pick it up. And for me, this is dangerous for fnatic now, because not only have Navi got 5 loud guys, 1 loud manager, they've got a couple of loud press guys who seem to be on their side as well. And they are that team that once things start to go their way, I don't think they're going to let go. I mean, obviously, once fnatic have weapons, we're going to see a little bit more accurately as to how this game will pan out in the long run. But so far, it's pretty much a destruction. Lane's down middle. Edward's already started mopping up. Zeus is there as well, just spamming through the smoke. Forest is 1 versus 5. And Starix is there, yeah, another easy round for Navi. That's 10-8, but now we see, of course, fnatic with weapons in hand. Can they come back?
6 rounds away from the title. Do you think Navi can do it? Do you think they will do it?
I think they will.
It certainly feels right now like somehow they're just willing their way to rounds.
Fnatic are a great team, though, on the CT side of Inferno, and if they also get into the swing of things, if Forest really picks things up, if Get Right really picks things up, then it's going to turn this game right around very, very quickly. And you can see that they've kept a hold of the Galils here, Markeloff and Senior, and actually Forest has got a couple, which is what I was talking about. You know, that 2-for-1 trade-off worth
DSN's
every
got an
single
here.
penny.
So let's see where he's going to set up.
Slow down now. Important round for Navi. If they can pull this one, they really gain an advantage.
And Edward's actually going to be able to get out here without Get Right knowing that he's there. So if they go to the site, DSN's going to have to hit his shot.
They make the
They're running a lot of time down here for not actually having done anything.
Yeah, the good thing is that finally Zeus is seemingly moving his way up. Senior as well. And they will move out. Let's stick with Edward. First kill, so important for Navi. He's going to peek here. Get right.
Threat is
walls around
changing
that corner.
positions constantly here, so if they run out of the balcony at the wrong time, he's going to be in trouble.
Here comes Zeus, and surely they're going to check pit. Yeah, they know there's a man in pit now, and they're probably going to sandwich between them. Income threat and DSN, though. It's now all on Edward. DSN misses the shot. 1 versus 3. Here is Edward, and DSN will take him. And fnatic bounce back in the first gun round of the second half, 10-9.
And for DSN to get this all heated up now, if he can hit some shots, maybe if he can sort of take some early shots at middle, it could really disrupt the way that Navi have been setting up for these rounds slowly.
The other problem is that if DSN scares them away from Banana with enough force there by getting a few kills in a couple of rounds, it kind of limits their options.
Middle here.
This is the shot. And they will, of course, retreat after that. It's quite a deep defense from fnatic. They're not really pushing out too aggressively. I think that's the right choice against the Ukrainians, because we've seen from them on the terrorist side that they can be a little bit indecisive, and if fnatic can keep them back for long enough and run the clock down far enough, they could be in trouble. Good wall span there.
Yeah, just took 3/4 of him before he had to even take a chance at worrying about damage.
Here comes Markeloff. They're in on this A site. Now they've got to deal really with DSN, who has taken damage. Get Right actually just backing away here ever so slightly after his frag onto Zeus. Bomb still not planted.
Yeah, Markeloff really needs to hurry up here.
Here we go. Bomb ticking away. Good play by Edward. His position nice.
Oh,
they need
DSN
the next
misses
frag.
a crucial shot there because he only has 16 health. And with Get Right's health as well, it's going to be so hard to get into the site.
Get Right and DSN
Khan
are
has to
both
do a lot
low.
here.
Here we go.
Oh, his second Stark's really down.
Khan starting to move in. Edward still on that box as Starix will be picked off. Edward really has to come up big as he gets the first one. Second one for Markeloff. It's now all on Get Right, who will peek out from balcony. Takes down Markeloff. He's got 6 seconds. Yeah, he's going to have to run away. And Navi will pick up another round to go 2 in the lead once again at 11-9. Great, great play here.
And one thing I have noticed on this Inferno side is that fnatic got away with a lot of rounds where they'd taken a lot of damage, and if they'd actually gotten into battles, you couldn't really call whether or not Navi would get back in. But we've seen on this terrorist side, when fnatic have really, on the CT side rather, when fnatic have really been damaged health-wise, it's made them more tentative when they're pushing in.
Well, this could be interesting.
So Navi have done a lot of damage this game, it feels like.
Look at this. Big push from Navi. It was a 3-man stack by fnatic over by the B site. The problem is that they're on an eco. Only Get Right, of course, has the weapon. For me, you'd stick Get Right just in B on his own. And then stack the rest up, because now Edward's going to work his way through balcony into big pit, and they're going to get a big hold onto this site. Here they go, just chipping off at range. That USP got nothing on the AKs. Where's Get Right? He's sat down by lobby, and I guess he's going to wait here. try and get the exit kills, and then bring Forest and Khan up to try and pick up those weapons afterwards. Oh, he's going to be peaked. Oh, he's moved away. Lucky for Get Right there. Good timing. Yeah, you can see Edwards backed away as well. And Navi, I don't think they mind too much. There's that one M4 still in play. fnatic will be able to buy in the next round anyway, and they'd rather just not lose those AKs and give the other two members of fnatic a weapon.
Yeah, and there's 10 rounds to play and 9 rounds to play, and Navi need 4 of them. And no matter what you say about their situation, about their troubles closing the deal, at the moment they're headed in the right direction. It seems like fnatic just haven't gotten close enough on the key rounds. They've gotten the right kills, but they've taken too much damage themselves. Considering early on, it seemed like fnatic were adapting quite well in their defense. They were pushing up, being aggressive. Now it doesn't really feel like they're doing that much. They're more just waiting for Navi to come into the site.
Well, fnatic now back onto the buy, and they are in such a desperate position now. They have to win probably this round. I mean, if Navi get up to 13, that would be 6-1 on the T side already that they're at.
And I think part of it's because of the nerves and being a big final, and you're both playing such dangerous opponents in terms of style. We haven't seen a lot of sort of aggressive pushes by the CT at Banana at all, so we haven't ever had to worry about fast rotations behind you. It's all been pretty much in A, just kind of straight up head-on battles.
Markelov has just actually smoked out here. They are going to push middle by the looks of things. Yep, Edward. That's his usual kind of start when they go for this A site. Again down towards CT archway. Oh, Navi going to push right in.
Zeus has just smoked right off where DSN is.
Flashes and smokes are in. This is
DSN's
a nice
already
little
on.
move. And look at those flashes from Edward. They are pushing into the site. Senior has somehow killed himself. He must have been shot in mid-air as he jumped out of balcony. Well, look at this for a whitewash round. Only Khan and Get Right still alive. Khan is back, and yeah, he's going to turn straight around once Get Right's dead. And this will leave fnatic 3 rounds away from losing their title as the Intel Extreme Masters World Champions.
And their money situation has to be quite desperate now, because we saw that round they lost all their guns, and then the next round Get Right had a weapon on his own that was an eco. They lost that. Now they just lost this round. So you cannot imagine
this weapon.
I'd imagine you'll see some FAMAS coming now.
Here they come in, pushing onto Khans. He's still got Zeus. I think he may be in the clear now as he just sits behind the box. And yes, he will be. But the score is 13-9, and Navi 3 rounds away from picking up a huge victory.
And what guns are we seeing here for fnatic? Some FAMAS. Let's see, we've got 2 Colts, an AWP for DSN.
Yeah, rest FAMAS. Get Right and Forest with FAMAS.
Oh, and DSN's going to look in the apartments with the AWP. It's a nice little switch around. Let's see whether Navi will attack there. Oh, but Threat only has a Deagle looking towards that balcony.
This is really interesting. I mean, Get Right has got himself the first frag, but here's Markelov taking a peek out towards Big Pit. Just spamming down there in prediction of the movement towards that pit area. He needs to run. Oh, it's only a flash. Good for him, it wasn't a grenade. Forest is dead. That's 1 weapon down. Look at Get Right there with the FAMAS. Threat is there as well with a Deagle. And Get Right is starting to work his way in now that he's got himself an AK, and fnatic will chip back in this game. 13-10, that's a lifeline.
Yeah, Get Right absolutely just handed fnatic their lives for a moment there. Can't even imagine how the attack would have been if he hadn't just immediately neutralized those 2 guys. And he's been keeping fnatic in this game so far.
So much pressure on fnatic now. But also on Navi as well. I mean, they've got so close. They've only just given away their second round out of 8, so it's a fairly good record they're carrying. But they'll want to bounce right back, because that 14th round offers, you know, a nice little safe haven that your opponents then got to win the remaining 6 in a row if they want to win without an overtime. There's DSN with the first frag. They've lost a fair bit of health here of the Ukrainians. And actually, we're going to see a peek up from Forest, and he lost out to Starix, who actually didn't lose a single piece of health. 4 on 4. Khan is down to half, Markelov down to half.
And we've never actually seen the Ukrainians fake out and go to the other site yet. We've never seen them even put pressure on that site and then hit the original one. We've seen very kind of straight up telegraphed A play, and they have been able to get rounds out of that, but will they stick with that game plan?
Markelov's going to be rushed down here by Threat, and that's the maybe a deal breaker for fnatic. So, yeah, we'll try and cover that position over there that his teammates just given up, and he does peek out. Wow. Get Right has already moved around to cover the exit to apartments, and it's a go. They've got to go here. Zeus will pick up one. Starix is there as well. 2 versus 2. Great play to get back in the round by Zeus and Starix, as they now have the bomb to plant. Where is Khan?
ESN's got an AWP here, so if they peek, he gets a chance.
Zeus is playing such a close position, but as the flash comes around, they both peek out. It will be now 1 versus 1. DSN versus Starix, and DSN takes it. Been such a solid player throughout the whole tournament. And fnatic on their feet after that one. Moved to 13-11.
And with 43 health, that felt like a really unnecessary peak so early on in the clock.
I think Zeus was going for the kind of aggressive, obvious position that you would never kind of expect as he came around. But unfortunately, the flash, I think, gave it away that they were planning.
Here's the mid-peak again with the AWP for DSN.
Not had much luck with that. That's one thing that I've really liked.
He's about to kill someone now, I think. There we go.
Yeah. As they switched over to the map overview to see where they exactly were. Most of the rounds, actually, they've not pushed 2 men from that middle T ramp. They've gone more up Broadway. Here comes the kill from Zeus. Is this a heavy push? Not.
But there's
it could
heavy
force
rotation
fnatic.
from Fnatic's players. So if they were to fake and go here now, let's see.
Little did Navi know that the positions have shifted more towards a B defense.
If we wait long enough, we'll see the players go back to A, so... Oh, Get Right's going to get so aggressive now.
Oh, Get Right has got aggressive. He picks up the first frag as we get around. He gets 2. 3 versus 2. Still Threat is in this site. They're still so careful.
Let's see. Looks like they want to hit it, so we're going to see a straight up 2-on-2 fight. The ESN goes back to A, though.
Here we go.
Flash has been run down. The smoke's going to go in, and they're going to have to fight this guy on the left.
Let's watch Threat as he peeks out once. They know where he is now. They know that he's behind those boxes somewhere in the center. Threat will take the head off Markelov. Now Senya has to get in onto this side, and Threat will peek out, spraying from behind. And it's 13-12. fnatic coming right back.
And the Ukrainians are in positions. They're within striking distance to take these rounds. But we've just seen a whole host of the fnatic players just step up and get crucial kills where if they miss a single shot, you have to feel like they die and maybe lose the round. And Get Right is just kind of... The guy's just playing out his skin now.
Ukrainians are in a dangerous position because we've said it time and time again that on this T side of Inferno, when they seem to lose 2 or 3 in a row and can't find a hole, he never seems to reappear for them, that hole.
And Senya couldn't get the bomb down that round. He instead went for the kill. So that could be a little bit of a twist to what's going to happen next round if they lose this round.
Things slowed down again for Navi. Khan is actually peeking here down towards the end, and he's taken so much damage as he tries to get back. Zeus has done really great, to be honest, in that scouting out banana roll. We saw him against Mousesports getting killed almost every round.
That's a good point. He hasn't taken very much damage at all while he's been doing it now, but he's been able to get the full scout on who's up there.
Let's get around to Khan because...
This would be the time to hit this site because of the heavy loading over of the left side.
They are going to hit it. The call from Khan will come in. He gets one, but Senya, with the deagle, brings it back. Bomb has to go down soon.
And what's crucial is it goes down immediately. But there's 2 fnatic coming banana, so let's see if there's anyone covering there.
Zeus watching back from CT spawn. Senya is deep actually into the site.
Markelov has to hold at least one off here.
Senya is at the back of the site, and he has killed one. Get Right comes in. Zeus with another one. Let's get around to these CT players. DSN headshot with the USP. He's got an M4 now. It's 2 versus 2, but look at the time. They have to move in. DSN looking for the kill. Senya will pick it up, and it's jubilation for Navi as they move up to 14-12 and 2 away from the remaining few rounds, the remaining 4 rounds actually, it's so close for them now.
Well, what's wonderful is these rounds aren't being won by costly mistakes. They aren't being won by just someone calling the right strategy. They're being won by just great plays in the clutch. And we're seeing one player step up from one team, another one from another team. It doesn't really seem like any one player is dominating. We're just getting kind of hero performances from a whole host of people.
You know what really makes this round interesting? It's a bit of a mixed bag, and it's mostly based on FAMASas. But when we've seen the FAMASas from fnatic before in this map, they've done really well. Get Right in particular has been hitting almost everything with the FAMAS,
Get Right
which is a
seems
crucial
to be able
start.
to get a 2-kill with a FAMAS seemingly at will. And now Navi, they just seem like they've completely decided they're going into this B site each time.
Currently, no rotation.
And this game has been just so close. I mean, fnatic have rounds where they can hold either site. They have rounds where they can't hold either site. Same vice versa for the Ukrainians.
Khan's position. Very nice. Smoke comes in. Khan will spray. Zeus went down, but he was low health anyway. They now
see what
start
Senya
to work
can do
their way
now.
in. Yeah, Senya at that wall.
I think he was
in
blinded.
such a dangerous position. That's a team grenade, I'm pretty sure. As the flashes go over the top. Get Right is dead. Khan is still alive though, and he's
Edward,
keeping this
he just
defense
dies.
on the top. And well, it's 2 versus 4. Threat will get another one. It's now all on Markelov.
But he has sneaked in.
What
though.
can he do? Khan will peek out with that stolen AK, and fnatic are back 14-13. What a final.
And in a situation where you have to execute twice as terrorists, do you think like Navi are going to do it this time? They've been in this spot before where all they needed was those few extra rounds and the opponents were creeping back into it.
Yeah, this is deja vu almost for Navi here. We saw them obviously at the European finals against Mouse Sports. In fact, they were up on 15 then and they couldn't get the round. So let's hope for their sake that they can pull something more off. And look at the weapons that we're seeing from the T side. It's Eco as Forrest will go out with those AKs blazing. And he's just going to mop up completely there on that push. I mean, fairly easy when they are only running around with Glocks. I think there are some Deagles.
And here's the story so far. If Navi were to come through and win this map, the fashion they would have won it in, it'd be fitting with everything else we've seen in this tournament with their past history, and what a way to win it. At the same time though, you have to feel like if fnatic come back, they either get it to overtime or they win the map outright, then fnatic are going to be the ones going in with the psychological advantage on that third map.
Saying you here. This is kind of tactical, I think. They're having a bit of a chat.
Having a little talk, yeah.
I mean, there are 2 rounds to go.
And especially since you are Navi and you're not down yet, and you're a map up, you don't necessarily want to use your timeout now. You want to wait and see if we get to overtime. Maybe we use the timeout in overtime so we can actually do an adjustment there and have a little talk about what's happening.
14-14, all tied up with 2 rounds to go. The winner of this next round will obviously be on map point, which for Navi could actually be game point. And that's the kind of advantage that they're going to want as they go through into the final round, not the pressure of having to win or then going through to a third map if they lose.
And if you're fnatic, and it's taken so many rounds with a player coming up with a great set of kills or a really nice individual move, what you have to ask for them is, does that continue? Do they still have enough in the tank to do that?
Senya already pushed up here on carpeted hallways. Few grenades going off early round, but none of them actually causing any damage. Maybe Zeus has got a little bit of health shaved off from that one. The A site is not the bomb site that they want to hit right now. Currently, Forrest Get Right, both deep within it. Threat inside Big Pit. DSN in a position where he can cover left side of middle from CT Arch as well. But let's get around to the B man.
And Navi's style is so strange. It's throwing fnatic off just like it's throwing everyone else off.
Big push.
This is it. This is basically their map.
Here we go. Khan is totally blind, and Navi are going to get cleanly. That's the important thing into this site. They've lost a bit of health now. Well, his bomb is going to be planted. DSN is low.
Markelov's in a position to kill the man flanking here, outright.
Here we go.
Threat's gone past him.
He is going to take down Threat. That was nicely weighted out by Markelov, who will now surely push up Banana to help. And
They're
fnatic
save.
are going to give up the round. and this is going to push Navi up to that game point. Still a few seconds to go though in the round, and actually here's Get Right, and now they're like, screw it, let's go for it. 3 versus 3. How close are they going to get? Get Right is now starting to move in. Edward is in the back, and that is going to be the end of the round. DSN has given it up, and Navi will move on to match point here in the Intel Extreme Masters CS 1.6 final for Season 4, and it's all down to the last round. Can Navi win it, or are we going to see an overtime?
And for Navi, is this just like the perfect ending to your tournament? Everything's set up in this manner so that you finally come through on Inferno when it matters the most? Or is this going to be kind of the cruelest round of the whole tournament for them?
Well, we've seen it before.
DSN, it looks like it's going to switch up and go into the balcony area again with his AWP, which is a switch they've done before.
First kill's crucial here.
And will Navi finally switch back to the A site? Even though they've had that success in B, they've hit it so many times, and they've done that slow tactic. It looks like they want to hit
Oh,
A
they've
here.
killed DSN. Great opening round here, and Senior actually doubles up. There's a man in the middle, that's Forrest. Zeus has dealt with him. What can Get Right and can't do? They have to save it
Bomb
for
planted.
Fnatic. Bomb planted. Markelov takes down one. It's now all on Khan, the captain for Fnatic, as he starts to work his way into this bomb site. He's up against 4 from Navi. Surely they're going to kill him, and Navi will win the Intel Extreme Masters Season 4 for Counter-Strike 1.6. Picking up $50,000, but I think more importantly for them, their first real major tournament victory. And well, what a way to win it there. 16-14 in the end, and of course, knocking off Fnatic, the team that could have been the first team to ever put back-to-back Intel Extreme Masters victories together. Didn't happen for them today. Great second place for Fnatic though, but it's Navi who have just stamped their mark on the Counter-Strike map.
And you could not have scripted it better. This team from the Ukraine, no Ukrainian team has ever won a major in Counter-Strike. This team came every step of the way. They met the great teams. They got into such close dogfights. In this game, Fnatic lose, and yet they were there in both maps. And to win on that last round in that fashion on the half that's plagued you so much, some truly heroic performances from pretty much all of the Navi guys when it mattered.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the product manager of the Intel Extreme Masters, Michael Blichardt, better known as Kamek! Kamek, welcome on stage again. We saw a lot of amazing games. Say something about it.
Well, it's always nice when an underdog, an unfancied team that came out of, one would say, nowhere, defeats a major champion. I'm very sad for Fnatic because their name is on the trophy. The trophy would look so pretty with Fnatic twice on there. At the same time, people from Ukraine, all of Ukraine is happy.
Of course. How is it possible that an underdog comes from nowhere to the top in a tournament like this? I mean, we are not playing against, or they are not playing against teams from nowhere. They are playing against the best teams in the world.
A lot of dedication, a lot of practice, and most importantly with these Ukrainians, a lot of heart. I think heart is what they had that really gave them this final and this trophy.
All right, Holly said a little bit about the new season, the season number 5 for the Intel Extreme Masters. What can you tell us about that?
For the next 3 minutes, no comment.
All right, then let's go on with the third place. But at first, we need the VIP here on stage. And I don't know if it's the right one because I saw Mr. George Wu. He's the marketing manager of Intel. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give me a hand for Mr. George Wu. Welcome on stage, Mr. Wu.
George.
What, Mark?
You tell them, or do I tell them, or do you tell them?
I'll tell them.
Go ahead, tell them.
All right, guys, we're going to have season 5. So I look forward to seeing you guys all there and following us for another great season. So look forward to seeing you guys there.
A big hand for that, ladies and gentlemen, for the season number 5 announced here. I'm very happy that we will have another season. But now I think we should come to the third place of the Intel Extreme Masters Counter-Strike 1.6 tournament.
We should definitely finish season 4.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me a hand for the third place in the Counter-Strike 1.6 tournament here on the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, SK Sweden! Here they are. Congratulations, guys. Step up on the podium. And now they will get the medals. And of course a check over 8,000 US dollars. And we're looking for the medals. Where are the medals? Kamek,
I'll get the medal.
give it back. Kamek, where are the medals? They're backstage. Something like that can happen. There are the medals. And Mr. Wu, would you be so nice to hand over the medals to the third place of the Intel Extreme Masters Counter-Strike 1.6 tournament winner, Team SK from Sweden! And now it's time for the press to take some pictures before we will continue with the second place in that tournament. I think they're at the moment a little bit unhappy, but tomorrow I'm pretty sure that they will be happy about the second place. Ladies and gentlemen, again, a big applause for the second place of the Intel Extreme Masters tournament winner here, fnatic from Sweden! Congratulations, guys. There are the medals. And of course, they're a little bit unhappy at the moment. But I'm pretty sure that the check over 20,000 US dollar will help a little bit to forget that defeat against Navi. And now Kamek hand over the check. Ladies and gentlemen, and again, a big applause for the last year winner this season, second place vice champion. And now we are coming to the new Intel Extreme Masters Season 4 Counter-Strike 1.6 tournament winner. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me a random big applause for Team Navi from Ukraine! Mr. Wu, please hand over the medals. Congratulations, guys. You did a really good job. They also beat Mouse Sports from Germany. Yeah, which are the European champions. Won this title on the Intel Extreme Masters Brutal event. And also, they get a check over 50,000 US dollar prize money. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me again an applause for the best team of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 4 in Counter-Strike 1.6, Team Navi! It's time to take some pictures. Enjoy that moment, guys. Thanks for being here on stage. Just stay on the podium. We will finish the Season 4 with that winner ceremony. Thanks again, Mr. George Wu, für all die Besucher hier vor Ort. Jetzt noch einmal der Hinweis, ihr könnt die Halle gleich links und rechts von der Bühne verlassen, direkt zum Nord 1 Ausgang. Vorher gibt es natürlich noch ein paar Preise Und wir zeigen euch natürlich, wie sollte es anders sein, noch ein paar Highlights der letzten Woche. Angefangen mit dem Tag heute und dann gehen wir einfach mal ein bisschen zurück, Freitag und natürlich auch Donnerstag, Mittwoch und Dienstag. Das soll es gewesen sein von den Intel Extreme Masters Finals hier aus Hannover von der CeBIT 2010. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen, danke, dass ihr hier wart, wart ein super Publikum. Danke auch nochmal an die Messe und natürlich an alle Partner, die uns unterstützt haben. Wir sehen uns in der nächsten Season hoffentlich wieder. Auf Wiedersehen, bis dann und tschüss!